When I talk with mothers whose babies have been diagnosed with HIE or subsequent CP diagnosis, one of the biggest questions that comes up is this: was my baby's injury preventable, or was this something that just happened to us? Not long ago, I was speaking with a mother who made a really important point. She said that in some of her parenting groups, a lot of the moms feel confused about what is negligence. What does it actually mean? They feel like something went wrong, but they're not sure if it was a medical mistake or just an unexpected result of everything. That's why I'm making this video this morning. I want you to save it. And if you know other moms who are asking these same types of questions after a difficult birth like this with an HIE brain injury, that you share this video with them. As a birth injury lawyer, I am currently investigating cases where I am applying exactly what we're discussing this morning. Because one of the first questions I have to answer is, did medical negligence cause your baby's HIE brain injury and subsequent CP diagnosis? Not every bad outcome in labor and delivery happens because of negligence. That is something that families have to know from the jump. For a legal case, we have to prove 4 basic elements. First, the doctors and nurses, they have a duty to give you and your baby proper care during labor and delivery. Second, we have to figure out if they broke that duty. Did they make errors? Were they monitoring your baby the right way? Did they miss warning signs that showed that your baby was struggling? Did they stay quiet when they should have called for help or should have went up the chain of command? I see these types of issues in cases that I'm actually investigating right now. And the third part of this is going to be causation. We have to connect those errors to the injury. An error by itself is just not going to be enough. That error has to be part of what caused the baby's brain injury. And the fourth thing is going to be damages. This means that we have to prove that the baby's injury led to long-term challenges like HIE or CP or other types of developmental delays. All 4 of these elements, they have to be there for the case to move forward. Now, a big part of how we figure this out is by looking at the standard of care. And that means asking if doctors and nurses follow the basic safety rules during labor and delivery. Did they react to abnormal heart tracings the right way? Did they respond fast enough when labor stopped progressing? Did they watch closely if Pitocin was used? Did they move quickly enough if the baby was showing signs of oxygen problems? I'm seeing this in a case that I'm working on right now. Times when there were delays in calling for the C-section, times when the nurses did not escalate concerns, times when Pitocin was continued even when the baby was not handling labor well. And when these types of safety issues are missed, the chances of a baby suffering an HIE brain injury, it goes up. But I also have to prove that the error is what caused the harm. And there's, like I said, that's where these medical experts come in. And in the cases I work with doctors and nurses who will review the medical records and give opinions on whether the care was acceptable or not. Because these cases depend so much on medical experts, it takes time. It can take months before families can get a clear answer about whether they have a case to move forward. And it's also important to understand that the hospitals and the doctors, they will have their own lawyers in these cases. So from the very beginning, I'm also preparing for the arguments that they're going to make. Sometimes they'll argue that the injury happened during pregnancy. Sometimes they'll argue that it was genetic or developmental. Sometimes they'll say nothing could have been done to prevent it. And when I investigate these cases, I'm having to prepare for these defenses from the start. And I want to be honest with you, not every bad outcome is going to mean that there's a legal case. Sometimes even with good care, injuries like these can still happen. And I think families deserve the truth about what happened, not guesses or empty promises about everything. I also understand that the fear that comes with an HIE diagnosis or CP. Like I said, I talk with parents all the time who are looking for answers and feel like no one will tell the full story about what happened at the hospital. And that's why I take videos like this to help explain what it means when you talk to a lawyer about negligence and to help you understand what that investigation process actually looks like. If this helped you, like I said, save it. Share it with anyone that you know that is trying to figure out these same issues with their baby's HIE brain injury. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and if you have any other questions about your baby's HIE, brain injury at birth, or subsequent CP diagnosis from a medical legal standpoint, don't hesitate to reach out and contact me. You can find out more information about me in my profile. My information is there. If you're watching this video on certain apps, you can send me a DM and we can chat a little bit about your baby story, or you can just wait and watch the picture that follows the end of this video. All right, that's going to be it for this morning's longer educational video. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to get started with the rest of my day. I've got depositions coming up this week and next week, and I've got to go out of town for some more other client stuff. So take care, everybody. Have a great day.